I told you that by Christmas 2025, flying your DJI drone could become illegal in America? And what if I also told you that there's a massive shortage happening right now that's driving drone prices through the roof, with some models jumping from $2,000 to over $4,700 overnight? Stick around, because today we're diving deep into the drone crisis that nobody saw coming, the shocking government moves happening behind closed doors, and the one thing every drone pilot must do before it's too late. If you've tried buying a DJI drone lately, you've probably noticed something alarming. They're either completely sold out, marked up by 30 to 50%, or simply not available at all. This isn't some random supply chain hiccup. This is the beginning of what many are calling the Great Drone Ban of 2025. And here's what's truly scary. Most drone pilots have absolutely no idea what's coming. They think this is all just politics and rumors. But the writing is on the wall, and the clock is ticking faster than anyone realizes. Let's start with what's happening right now. As of September 2025, DJI has effectively stopped selling directly to US consumers. Go to their website. You'll see empty shelves. Check Amazon, limited stock at inflated prices. Visit B&H Photo or Adorama. Most models show back-ordered or discontinued. But here's where it gets really concerning. The Trump administration just announced on September 5th that they're not implementing the most aggressive restrictions on Chinese drones we've ever seen. This isn't some distant threat. This is happening in real time. Current tariffs have already pushed Chinese drone prices up by 170%. That's why a DJI Mavic 3 Pro that used to cost $21.99 is now selling for nearly $5,000 in some places, and that's just the beginning. US Customs and Border Protection has been quietly blocking DJI shipments since last year, citing, quote, human rights violations from 2017 to 2019. But here's the kicker. They waited 5 years to suddenly enforce this ban. Coincidence? I don't think so. The scariest part? They operate on a guilty until proven innocent framework. Even when DJI provides proof that addresses their concerns, customs officials can still block shipments indefinitely. They have essentially unlimited power to strangle the supply chain. Now, here's where things get really serious. Congress passed something called the Countering CCP Drones Act as part of the 2025 National Defense Authorization Act. This law sets a hard deadline of December 23rd, 2025. Here's how it works. The government has exactly 1 year to conduct a security review of DJI and other Chinese drone companies like Autel Robotics. If they don't complete this review by December 23rd, or if they find security risks, these companies will be automatically banned from selling any new drone models in America. And guess what? We're now in September 2025, and no security review has even started. Republican lawmakers are demanding the Office of the Director of National Intelligence expedite this review within 30 days. But industry experts believe this delay is intentional. Translation: the government is likely running out the clock to trigger an automatic ban. They don't even need to find evidence of wrongdoing. They just need to let the deadline pass. Now, before you panic completely, let me address the elephant in the room. Will your existing DJI drone stop working? The good news is that drones you already own will continue to function. There's no kill switch that will suddenly ground your aircraft. You'll still be able to fly what you have until the drone physically breaks down. However, here's what you need to understand. Spare parts, batteries, gimbals, and accessories will become increasingly difficult to find. Third-party repair services might face restrictions on sourcing parts. Software updates could potentially cease, leaving your drone vulnerable to security issues or compatibility problems with new devices. For professional drone operators who depend on consistent fleet performance, this creates a massive operational risk. Imagine running a real estate photography business where half your drones become irreparable within 2 years. What we're seeing now is just the tip of the iceberg. Smart money is already buying everything they can get their hands on. Not just drones, but spare parts, batteries, and accessories too. Here's some insider information. Local camera shops and smaller resellers still have better inventory than the big retailers. Places like DroneWorks in Florida and independent dealers who bought stock early are your best bet right now. But even they're reporting that their suppliers are warning about further shortages. Amazon has become a wild west of pricing. One day you'll see a Mini 4 Pro for $1,000. The next day the same model is $1,500 from a third-party seller. And you have to be extremely careful about counterfeits. Desperate consumers are falling victim to fake DJI products that can't match the performance of genuine equipment. Pro tip: if you're shopping right now, verify seller credibility and always check for authentic DJI serial numbers and warranty coverage. So, what happens when DJI is gone? This is where things get interesting and frankly a bit scary. The US drone industry has some solid players, but none of them match DJI's ecosystem. Companies like Skydio lead in autonomous flight and are heavily adopted by the Department of Defense. Their X10 enterprise drone is impressive, but it costs exponentially more than comparable DJI models. Brink Drones, built in Seattle, focuses specifically on first responders and public safety. They're all NDAA compliant and proudly American made, but again, we're talking about much higher prices and more specialized applications. For consumers and creators, the pickings are slim. Autel Robotics offers some decent alternatives like the EVO Nano Plus, but they're also Chinese made and could face similar restrictions. Potensic has been stepping up with models like the Atom 2, which offers surprisingly good performance at budget prices. Here's something fascinating. There's been a surge in what I call ghost DJI drones. Companies like Sky Rover are selling what appear to be rebranded DJI Mini 4 Pros through ODM, original design manufacturer agreements. The Sky Rover X1 looks identical to a Mini 4 Pro, performs almost identically, but somehow avoids the import restrictions. However, these arrangements could disappear overnight, just like what happened with the Specta Air and Mini, which vanished completely when Specta went silent. This brings me to what I believe is the most important point in this entire video. If you want to future-proof yourself as a drone pilot, you need to learn each FPV. First-person view drones are built from components. Even if every Chinese drone gets banned, you'll still be able to source motors from one country, flight controllers from another, and cameras from somewhere else. The FPV community has thrived on this modularity for years. Companies like Beta FPV, Radiomaster, Fat Shark, and GEPRC have built an entire ecosystem around customizable, repairable, upgradable drones. When your motor burns out, you replace just the motor. When new camera technology emerges, you upgrade just the camera. More importantly, FPV drones can't be banned in the same way because they're not products from any single company. They're collections of components that you assemble yourself. It's like trying to ban cars by banning Ford. People would just build their own cars from parts. The learning curve is steeper than flying a DJI, but the reward is complete independence from corporate decisions and government regulations. If you're still flying DJI or thinking about getting into drones, here's your action plan. Immediate actions. Number 1, buy spare parts now. Order extra batteries, propellers, gimbals, and any accessories you might need. These will become harder to find than the drones themselves. Number 2, stock up if you're planning to buy. Don't wait for sales or perfect timing. Inventory is disappearing and prices are only going up. Focus on smaller retailers and local shops rather than waiting for Amazon restocks. Number 3, consider alternatives while they're available. The Sky Rover X1, Potensic Atom 2, and Hover Air X1 Pro are still available and offer solid performance. Long-term preparation. Number 1, start learning FPV. Even if it's just simulator practice, begin familiarizing yourself with manual flight controls and FPV equipment. YouTube channels, local FPV groups, and online communities are great starting points. Number 2, join FPV communities now. these groups will become invaluable resources for parts sourcing, technical support, and staying ahead of regulatory changes. Number 3, diversify your drone portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, whether that's DJI, Chinese manufacturers, or any single brand. Here's what I think is really happening. This isn't just about drones. It's about reshaping an entire industry. The US government wants American companies to fill the void left by DJI, but that transition takes time and will be painful. We're looking at potentially years of higher prices, limited options, and reduced innovation while domestic manufacturers scale up. The drone industry, as we know it, is about to change forever. Some experts predict we'll see a wave of new American drone startups emerge, backed by significant venture capital and government contracts. Companies like Nero's, based in California, are already building military-grade FPV systems domestically. Freefly Systems offers high-end cinematography drones assembled in Washington state. But here's the reality. These solutions won't replace DJI's price-to-performance ratio anytime soon. The Mini Series, Mavic Series, and Air Series have set a standard that American manufacturers simply haven't matched at those price points. The drone industry is at an inflection point. Whether you see this as a crisis or an opportunity depends largely on how prepared you are for what's coming. The government restrictions aren't going away, they're accelerating. The supply shortages aren't temporary, they're the new reality. And the prices aren't coming back down. They're going to keep climbing. But here's the silver lining. This disruption will ultimately drive innovation. We're about to see American drone companies forced to innovate at a pace we haven't seen since the early days of DJI itself. The competition will be fierce, and consumers will ultimately benefit, eventually. The question is, will you be ready for this transition, or will you be left behind? Don't wait for the December deadline to make your move. The smart pilots are already preparing. The question is, are you one of them? What's your plan for the great drone ban of 2025? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates on this rapidly evolving situation. The drone world is changing fast. Make sure you're ready for what comes next.